Greetings today in the name of the Most High. Now today we're going to take you on a little tour of our local herbs, some of them, and what they do to the body, and how you can utilize these herbs to get rid of different ailments or sicknesses, you know what I mean? Because all these plants are put on the earth for us as healing. So today we're going to talk about the cherry bark. We're going to show you how to cut the cherry bark out and what it's good for. And then we're going to take you to the other plants that we use in Grenada to keep us well. All right? We know that plants fall in different categories. You have the pectorals, you have the demulcent plants, you have the anti-parasitic herbs, you have the alternative plants, you have the nervines, and you have the antibacterial, antiviral herbs. All right? Now this tree is a cherry tree, and usually what we do is skin the bark out of the tree, and then we could use the bark as a tea for pertussis, whooping cough, spasm of the lungs. If a child have a cough that's not going away, we can use this particular herb. All you have to do is have a cherry tree in your house, and you just take a knife and you chip out the bark. And it's also good for the vocal cord. If you are a singer or if you are a lecturer, you could use this particular herb called wild cherry bark to help your voice or your voice box. And also good for pertussis. It's also good for pneumonia. It is also good for bronchitis. And it's good in children. It is also found in lots of cough syrup for children. Wild cherry bark. And we have it right over here. That's the first herb. The next one we're going to go to is a herb called, go over here. This herb is called Big Time. And Big Time have a history of removing excessive amount of mucus from the lungs. It is called an expectorant herb. So once you have a cold, or you have what we call a damp condition of the lungs, meaning that you are coughing up mucus, we use this particular herb called Big Time to help to remove the excessive amount of mucus from the lungs. So this herb is called a expectorant. It is called Big Time. And this is found all over Grenada. The only problem is lots of people do not use it because they do not know the medicinal properties of the herb. Now that's this one here. You come to this one over here now. This is my favorite here. This is called, we call it in Grenada Zooty. But the right name for it is, some people call it devil's nettle, or we call it stinging nettle, because when you touch it, like this here, all the little sprouts over here, once you touch it, it scratches you, it stings you a little bit. And that is very important to know that when you're going to pick this particular herb, you have to pick it with the gloves, because it's very itchy your skin. But the leaf is very significant for the kidneys. It have a lot of boron, calcium, magnesium, and it have a lot of iron, so it builds the blood. Also, this particular herb called stinging nettle is also good for women who is who's going through pregnancy and losing blood or have a low HB. This herb is wonderful to use for that, and it is also used as a potassium sparing diuretic, meaning that it will make you move excessive amount of water to the kidneys, from the kidneys, without losing potassium. It is also good for kidney pain. When you have pain in the kidneys because of nephritis, infection of the kidneys, this herb works well there. The root shrinks the prostate gland because the root is anti-inflammatory. So we use all these herbs for different ailments in the body. This one over here, soursop. Soursop, we call it sweet sup because it's not sour but the fruit now. But this herb in Grenada, we use it for what we call cooling. If the person have boils, if the person have any kind of skin condition, it cools the liver. But it also acts as a sedative, meaning that if you can't sleep too well, this herb called soursop leaves will put you to sleep. 3 or 4 leaves or 5 leaves steep in a cup of hot water half an hour before you go to bed, and that will make you go into dreamland or into dream world for quite a while. It is called soursop leaf, right? There is another herb we have called I think this one here. See what this is. Now if you have a mosquito bite you, or if any one of the insects bite you, you could take this herb, chew it up, and then put it on the sting or the bite, like that. And automatically it soothes the skin and soothes the bite that you get from the insect. Could it be a mosquito? It could be a sandfly? It could be one of these insects that are flying around? You just chew it up in your mouth, and then you put it on the bite, on the sting, and it helps to heal it. That's how wonderful herbs are. We're going on to the next herb. Over here. See the vine here, this herb is called Coralie, or we call it Kuli Pawpaw, and it has this like a fruit here. And this herb is very significant for the skin and for the liver, because it is very bitter, and it's good for parasites. If you have worms, pinworms, hookworms, threadworms, rungworms, this herb is very significant for that. But if you have eczema, psoriasis, hives, boils, any condition of the skin, you have to use this particular herb. And you see this part of the herb is like a fruit here. You could take it, see, and you could suck it, see, and it tastes sweet. But it's also good for high blood pressure. This here, this part here, the fruit, is good for high blood pressure. But the leaves are very important for when you have any kind of trouble in the skin. If your child have eczema, then you're going to take this herb called Coralie or Kuli Pawpaw, and you're going to bathe your child with this herb. And when you bathe the child with the herb, you see all the eczema lesions start disappearing, with helping the child live on the inside. But it's also a bitter, and it also works on your liver, and it also gets rid of parasites in your intestines. This one here, a little bit, is orange. And what we do, we take the orange leaf, and if you have any kind of blockage in the arteries now, any blockage in the arteries, we could take a few leaves of this tree with a few leaves of the lemon or the lime tree, we call it lime bud or lime blossom, and the leaves should be put in a cup of hot water, and you could drink that after 5 minutes of steeping it. You could drink it for at least a month, and what it does, it helps to calm the stomach, but it also helps to remove plaque in the walls of the arteries when you have coronary artery disease. This leaves from the orange tree, and the leaves from the lime or lemon tree also does that. So all these herbs we have in Grenada, but we don't use them because God put them on earth for us to use as healing. So if you want to come to Grenada for the retreat in April 5th to April 15th, you are welcome. We're going to take you around and show you all the herbs that we use for healing in our country. And then you will go back a new person, knowing how to use the herbs, because you will be educated, because knowledge is power and education is the key. Give Jehovah God the glory every time. Blessed love. All right.